welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and this is Memory Dex Monday. The second and fourth Monday, until we run through this series, will be where we talk about Memory Dex cards. Now, I did an intro last week, and I will link that video down below, and I will also be creating a playlist, and that link will be down below. I had somebody ask me, what was the difference between a Memory Dex and a Rolodex? So, technically, a Memory Dex is 4x4 before you create your top. Starts with a 4x4 card base for Memory Dex. Now, the actual Rolodex was first introduced in 1956. And I will link the article down below from Durakas Research where I learned about this and who designed it, but the idea was to have a way to keep track of secretaries in particular, because they had so much going on and they had to know how to get a hold of somebody at a jump if their boss said, "Can you get me so-and-so on the line?" and they had to know the number. Boom. Phone books were great, but if it was somebody that you contacted on a regular basis that you did business with, you wanted it in a touch file, so we had the Rolodex. So this was the first style that came out in 1956. There's also this style, and this one, these are 2 1/4 by 4 inches. These are, and I had my ruler here, I brought it with me, there it is. These are still 2 1/4 by 4 inches, but then this one was put out by, well, Rolodex Office, but it was a more compact version, great for the home use, but it was a little more, well, slimmed down. You see the difference there? The holes still line up the same because they have to match here, but this particular set came with a collection of cards, and this one hasn't even been opened. And I'm trying to get it open, but the scissors don't want to cut it. There we go. Time for new scissors or an old bag, I don't know which. But this one has area codes for all the states in it. Important numbers by alphabet, and those would fit right in the front. And probably be easier if I wasn't trying to do them all at once. There we go. So that everything was right there. Then you had your reference, which was your zip code or area codes, you know, when you actually made a phone call on a rotary dial phone. So that was this one. Okay, so I'm going to leave one of these out. And you're going to see how these have morphed over time. And I'll bet, even if you didn't, I'll bet your grandparents maybe even your parents in the early stages used one of these. But then there was also this one by Rolodex, continuous form cards. And this was for computerized card filing system. And if you'll notice here, they show all the different formats of Rolodex. And these are 2 1/6 by 4 inches. I personally think they're a lot bigger. What do you think? These were for the CompuCard by Rolodex, which was a computerized card filing system. You would run those through the computer and it would put all your information on the card. So those were the 3 different sizes. Now, in 2015, Heidi Swapp had the idea to take this and make it bigger, so that we had a place to put wallet-sized photos, document memories, which was the whole concept behind this, was to have a flip-through type of system that we could keep our memories on. A daily memory keeping throughout the year. People have evolved it into just basic small pieces of daily art. People have used it for their December daily or their October daily. Lots of different things you can do. I personally think they're a great way to test out new mediums that you want to try, instead of getting out a whole bunch of other stuff, you could do this. Now, Heidi Swapp came out with a set of dies, and she has several styles of dies. This is the main tab one that I bought, and I have another set coming, I think. But what if you don't have the dies? And we're going to talk about that today. That is the subject of our video today. How do you come up with the tops of your MemoryDex cards, or even the holes, if you don't have dies or the hole punch? That's what we're going to do today, okay? Now, I have several here. First off, I want you to think about all of the punches that you may have in your stash. How many of us bought these Martha Stewart border punches? And now, you know, because we just knew we were going to use them for card making or for scrapbook pages, and we haven't touched them in months, years. You can make these with your MemoryDex. Your MemoryDex cards do not have to have a tab. They can have any kind of top on them that you want them to have. So I've done this one with the spider web, and I've done this one with the Martha Stewart lace. So we have those options. So rate your punches and see what you have that you can punch the top with. Okay? That's our first one. Now, I also have these punches from EK Success that do fancy corners. And all I need to do is line that up with the guides. And sure, it leaves me my corner, but it also gives me this little tab, and I can come back and do this. And then I can come back with my corner rounder and round that off. And now I have a decorative edge. So those will work. Raid your punches, okay? While I have this punch out, this is a retired punch from Stampin' Up. It's called the Detail Trio. Had a ribbon hole, the corner rounder, and it had this decorative leaf that I could come back in here with this. And now I have the decorative corners. And again, I could come back. I don't think I can round that off, but I've got the decorative corners there that I can use. Okay, so there's number 2. Now, let's talk about these holes. And I'm going to do this with this white one that I have here. The holes are approximately 1 and 1.5 inches in from each side. So where did I lay my pencil? I had one here. I had it right here. Well, fiddlesticks. Okay, so this one's going to have a mark on it. That's okay. I had a pencil here. I mean, as in, there it is. I was going to say, as in, I just saw it a second ago. Okay, so we're going to take our 4-inch card. We're going to measure in 1.5 inches and make a tick mark. Then we're going to come in another 1.5 inches from the other side and make a tick mark, like that. And then we're going to come in with our 1/4 inch standard office hole punch. And if you want, you can make a template with this so that you always come in on the same amount, same space. And then you come back with your scissors and notch that out just like that. Now, B&D Crafts and More, Brian, he did a tutorial on this, and I will link his video down below. But there you go. Now you have your holes for your Rolodex. Okay? 1/4 inch punch, a ruler, and a pair of scissors, and you have that done. Now, you can order this punch lots of different places. I'm going to link it in Spectrum Art Creations. In fact, I will have a title bar down below that says Spectrum Art Creations, and I will link all the items that I'm using that are available in the Spectrum Art Creation store. Okay, now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to rate all of your dies. Go through all of your dies and see what you have. A lot of what I have is retired, and that's fine, because just because they're retired doesn't mean I can't use them, right? So let's start with the dies from Heidi Swapp. This particular one came in 2 different configurations, and I can't find the other one right now. But it's the center tab for that one. I have so many pre-punched dies over here, you would not believe it, that I wanted to show you today. And the die is buried on my table somewhere. But there is a second die to this particular set that does the center tab, which means you can put your tab on this side, then you can cut it out to where it goes this side, but then you can just flip it over and you have your tab on the left. And then there's a center tab that you can do. And that is this one from the Heidi Swapp collection. There it is. Buried under my punches. Okay, so that's one set from Heidi Swapp. Now, what if you don't have the dies but you want tabs? That's easy to do. We're going to come back, and if you have the envelope punch board, you'll see your numbers up here at the top. For this one, I did a 2-inch tab. So I lined the corner of my paper up with the 2 mark and punched. That's all I did. Then I came back with my ruler, and I want my small ruler that I cleaned, and my pencil, and I'm just going to draw a line right there. Come back with my scissors, and I'm going to clip right to that notch. And then I'm going to come back with my corner rounder, and I'm going to punch it off on the other side. Just like that. Now, if you want a really cool corner rounder, where is mine? I absolutely love this little thing from Hobby Lobby. Love this one, and I think it runs like $3.99. So punches go on sale. Grab you 2 or 3 of them because you're going to lose track of it. You're going to forget where you left it. Trust me on that one. So there's that one, just by using our envelope punch board. Now, what if you want to do that in the center? We're going to fix that. Let me see. We're going to come in, and on this one, we're only going to come in 1 inch, okay? Then we're going to flip it over, and we're going to come in 1 inch, just like that. And then we can come in with our scissors. And depending on how far you come in from that corner, determines how wide of a tab you're going to have. If you want it to be a little narrower, come in 1.5 inches. Just like that. And then you have your tabbed Rolodex card, okay, or MemoryDex card. So that takes care of that one. And we, just like the other one, we can come back with our handy dandy little corner rounder. And one of the reasons I like this one is because you can get in little places with this one. Just like that. Okay, so there's using your envelope punch board. Okay, now, see if I've got another blank one here I can work with. What about this one? If you want to do a curved tab, super easy. Grab you something small and round. I was using this glass this morning that my pens are in. And now the other day when I couldn't find any bone folders, I now know where 2 are at. Let's do something small. Let's use our Tim Holtz. And all we're going to do is we're just going to line that up with the edge on the left side and on the top. Draw our circle. And when we come around this back side, we're going to stop about part way. Okay? Again, come in with your scissors. And just fussy cut that around. And depending on where you position that bottle is going to determine whether you have a side tab on either side, or if you want to center it and have a center tab. And that will give you a tab with something as simple as your Tim Holtz water bottle. Any size thing will do. If you wanted a small one, you could do a smaller bottle. I have a bead bottle here that I could use. Anything that's small will work. Okay? So that's one way to make tabs. Now, what if you want fancy corners? You want to be fancy. I rated my Stampin' Up dies. Now some of these, let's start, before we go to Stampin' Up, let's go with Stampendous. I have this pop-up card dies that let you make pop-up cards. Let your kitties and doggies or whatever stand up. But I also have these border dies. So all I did with this one, I used this die. And I just positioned it. With my acetate out of the way. I just positioned it on my die cutting machine. And did that. And when I was done, I had this cute little border on there. That's simple. You don't have to have exactly a MemoryDex die cutting system to do this. You can use any of your dies that will do borders or shapes. So there was that one with the pop-up, okay? Then I did, this is one of them that I did using, this is a retired set, I think, around the bend dies. I will check the catalog, and if this is still available, I will put it down in the description box below. This one's from Stampin' Up. And it has these. This would be pretty if you wanted to do like a rainy day kind of thing. I have a plain curve. And I also have the leaves. And that's all I did with this one. Depending on where I wanted my leaves to be, I positioned my die. This one I wanted to put it on a corner. Could I have done this and gone this way and made it be elsewhere? Sure. All in where how can I try that again in English? All in how you place it on your paper is going to determine where it cuts on your paper. Makes sense, right? So there was that one. Okay. Then I did, see, this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And this one. I had, this is Basic Borders dies. I do not think this one is available anymore. But I will list it down below so that if you want to go search on the internet and find this set. Because this one is a super versatile set. I mean, look at this. I got 3, 4, 5, I got 6 different dies. 6 different tops on my MemoryDex cards. 6 different cards. This one I used the curved die. Did I have to position that directly on the top? Absolutely not. I could have done it at an angle. Only taken off part of it. Made it come deeper. However I wanted to play with that. There was this one here. Makes it look like an upside down denim pocket. Just by laying it like that. Okay? This one was this die, and it gave me a little bit of a scallop and the stitched edging. This one I love, has a boho effect to it. Now I have a lot more dies that I could have used, but they're still in with stamp sets that I need to catalog. And then there was this one. I did this one on a MemoryDex card I did for Brian's Swapp, so it looked like clouds in the background. And I could have done that one on blue. So that's those. Now, over the coming weeks, I'm going to be showing you how to add to the fronts of your MemoryDex cards in different fashions. We're going to be creating tabs. We're going to be creating shaker cards, adding layers, lots of different styles on these MemoryDex cards. So you're going to want to come back for that. Oh, and when you cut out some of those fancy tops, save your cutoff pieces from off the top because you might want to use them as embellishments on your MemoryDex cards. So that's it for me today. I will be back here Wednesday with our new cabinet card idea and working with our colors in the May Color Challenge. And then Friday, I've had a request to talk about what do you do with the whale punches, and not so much the whale punches, but the whale tail dies that are available from Spectrum Art Creations. So that is going to be our Friday premiere. And you're going to want to come back for that and see all the different ways to use that die. In the meantime, remember to like, share, subscribe. I'll see you Wednesday. Creative blessings.